Teaches fourth grade, and Mrs. Christy Chavez teaches fourth grade as well. And we wanted to share with you some things we've been doing out of Wylandville. If you've heard us talk about Project Zero before, and we've been working really hard to work on the research coming out of Harvard Graduate School of Education and challenging each other on how to think more deeply about what we're teaching and why we're teaching it. And addressing contemporary issues having to deal with our children as far as opening them up to dispositions we wish them to have as they grow and become older. And it's a challenge to do that in a school. So the three questions we've really been focusing on is, what does learning look like? What's worth understanding now and today and tomorrow? And then how and where does learning thrive? So we've been working on creating a culture of thinking and learning among the faculty and having deep conversations about learning, and have begun doing that with the kids. So we have an intro. It's a woman's a senior researcher with Project Zero, and she's going to introduce you to a platform that the fourth grade teachers are using with their kids now. And I'm going to just go ahead and play that.
Welcome to Out of Eden Learn. I'm Liz Dawes-Dorising, and I work at Project Zero at the Harvard Graduate School of Education. It's been my pleasure to help develop this online learning community to accompany journalist Paul Salopek's amazing Out of Eden walk. When Paul approached us about a possible collaboration, we were struck by the incredible synergy between what we value as educators and what Paul is trying to achieve as a journalist. For example, we admire his attempt to slow down and look closely at the world around him, to connect the dots between different news stories, and to try to put present-day events into broader historical context. So what are we trying to achieve with students? On this platform, we're doing more than simply sharing the Out of Eden walk with students. We're trying to get students to do what Paul is doing, albeit on a much smaller scale. For example, we ask students to create maps, to take walks in their neighbourhoods, to listen to the perspectives and stories of others, to look very closely at an everyday object, and to make connections between their lives and a bigger human story. In other words, we're asking them to slow down and reconsider their lives and their surroundings, just as Paul is. We like to use the analogy of young people becoming fellow travellers on a learning journey, both with Paul Salopek and with one another. Paul's project combines a deliberate use of low technology, walking, listening, old-fashioned storytelling, with cutting-edge 21st century tools that allow him to connect to a worldwide audience. In this way, we're inviting young people to situate themselves within a wider world and a larger human story. Our hope is to help young people to become informed, thoughtful, and engaged global citizens in ways that seem relevant at this particular moment in our collective human story. We hope that you'll join us for the journey.
So the next clip of videos we thought what would be most powerful would be to follow that up with talking to our kids. So these are fourth graders that are in our classrooms. They've only been on the platform for 6 weeks, and I hope you see what we see when they talk about how they're learning, what they're learning, and then Mrs. Ross and Mrs. Chavez will make a few follow-up, you have to sign me back in, comments. Does anyone have questions? Or she's trying to find me and log me in. Although, wait, how do you mute this so my email does not come up? That would not be good. Okay. Yeah.
What I really like about Out of Eden is, like, you can see where Paul is right now, and I appreciate that he's walking all this way, and you get real live news on what he is explore it. You can just see real life action there. And he's taking this walk so that we can see it and we learn more about our country that way. Because, I mean, we're not going to go on a walk and go around the whole world because we're so tiny. So if he does it and he gives us real life news, I think it's a little bit more easier for us to kind of learn more about our world. Like literally dialogue toolboxes that show you what he's doing and tell you more about it.
There are a lot of people in our walk, Tanzania,
Middlesburg, Virginia.
yeah, and like people from like over there, and then we're all the way like over there. It's like so incredible because like people across like oceans and miles away like are in our walking party with us and are joining us with like learning about Paul and why he walked around the world.
What I really like about Out of Eden is you have like a time span to complete stuff. So, I mean, they don't just get you right away, like, alrighty, today's the Monday and we're going to do this. And then it comes to Tuesday and they're going to do the next footstep. You have a time span between each footstep to complete it.
What I like about mine is that I actually get to think creative, think about what I would like to write and type.
I think it also might help kids learn to type a little bit more. And so you might need it just, like practice typing a little bit too while you're at it.
I like that you get to experience what other people are experiencing in their other, where they live. I just think it's cool that like people can like take pictures around their neighborhood and then share with other people, and people can comment on it, and then like they can comment back and have conversations on it and communicate with people from out of the United States. We're communicating with people from Tanzania, and I just think it's really cool because they had to learn a different language just to talk with us.
It's really creative how you can learn all about other people and how like their neighborhoods look, and like it's really fun because if I like look at this one picture that another person posts, I can realize that they're like in like the city, but wow, where I live out in the country.
You get to share things like things that are in like your neighborhood that you see like every day, and like you might not see like horses every day, but like Lydia might, but like I don't.
I like how we get to learn that people live in different places, and we get to realize that we don't all live in the same place, and they, like some of them live in the city, some of them live in the country. It's very different to what we have here in many other places.
Another thing I like about this is that you can like appreciate what they took a picture of and stuff, and you can ask questions and you can respond.
Who are they when you say they?
Like other kids on Out of Eden.
Yeah, like,
walking.
and I think it's like a chance to learn how other people live in the whole world.
Wow.
And not only that, but like, you get all these thoughtful comments. I feel like that makes you feel really good
It
inside.
boosts you up.
Yeah, it just boosts you up to a whole new level. I feel like.
I really like taking the pictures and drawing the pictures.
Yeah, and I think it just gives kids a chance to let out all their feelings.
I really like Out of Eden because, like, say the neighborhood maps, you have to draw your own map, and then you can share it with everyone else that's on Out of Eden. You can see how other people's neighborhood is, and like you get to read their stories and what they do instead of like the neighborhood map. You don't have to draw your picture. You get to take a picture.
That Paul went, like one of the places, they like had to travel miles to charge their cell phone. In one of the videos there was, the people were sleeping on the ground with just like a sleeping bag. And it was kind of like sad, and they had to like walk miles. They didn't have cars, and we have like cars. We have all kinds of stuff. opening up to fresh new eyes, and you look twice at it and you're like, oh, I never realized that.
That's true, and it's like I never really noticed it when it was green and like the summertime and stuff, but then it changed its color and it got brighter, and I really noticed it.
Yeah, same as mine. Like, I never noticed the cattails were that long in my neighborhood because I always take walks down there, but I've never seen them that good. And then these are wildflowers we just found just out of nowhere because we've never saw them there before. But then this time, when we look closer with fresh eyes and new eyes, we saw it, and it was just.
One picture I talked about how when we were riding that all we heard was like leaves crunching, and the leaves on the trees were like just different colors, yellow, orange, and red. And it's very cool to experience all of this.
I just got a text and it was like, I like the amount of color in your map. You must be a good artist. I have the responses here too. And I also like that there's not only that, but like, there's like, not only that, like you can get as many texts. There's no limit to say now 10 texts you can't, everybody has to stop giving you text. They can all keep texting to your things and say, hey, I love that about yours.
I was walking on my driveway, I never even noticed this, and this was here for about 5 days straight, and it's a black caterpillar, and my mom said that it's like one that the less stripes it has, the more severe the winter is. But like they keep commenting like I took a picture of the creek down by my house, and one of them asked, because I said there's a waterfall by it, and they asked, can you take a picture of the waterfall and post it?
What I really like is it's not only your responses you get text to, I mean, it's also theirs. And so, like, she got 2 texts. If I could respond to hers and say, hey, I love your text, and then she might respond and she might be really happy and that would make her feel good inside and me feel good inside. And
I posted a picture of my woods in the fire pit, and someone said, do you make s'mores often? We don't. And then I said, yeah, my family and me, we make s'mores often when it's cold out. And then, like, I said, thanks for asking. That was, like, a good question.
What do you think that teaches you when you have a chance to look at something that's there every day, you get to see it with fresh eyes?
I think that just teaches you to, like,
Start looking with better eyes. Like,
yeah, and I mean, thinking there's so much around you that some people don't even know, but when you look closely at it, you can actually see all the detail.
Right, so displayed above, you're going to see a few examples of student work from our classrooms, and Christy and I would like to take this opportunity just to share some of our experiences with you thus far in our classrooms.
So when we started out on this learning journey, we had a big question, and we said, what do we want the children we teach to be like as adults? And if you look at the list in front of you, all over the world, people come up with these same kinds of responses. They want them to be caring, responsible, lifelong learners, things like that. And so one of the big outcomes we have seen from doing this with our students is that it builds empathy in a way that no kind of paper pencil activity could. I think you can tell from the way the students talk, they recognize the similarities they have with other students, even if they're in other countries, and their differences, and they learn to respect those differences and even be thankful for the things that they have. So that's one of the big learning outcomes.
Another thing, learning in my classroom during this time looks so different because I've noticed that the students are really taking charge of their own learning, and I'm not necessarily the driving force behind delivering the information. You know, they're wanting to go out and explore and bring new things to the tables, and they're just at home on this. Even when it's not an assignment, they're like, guess what I found out, and guess what students in our walking party are doing, and I learned about Paul, it's really exciting and refreshing to see this type of learning environment going on.
We
in the
noticed they
classroom.
initiate conversations amongst themselves instead of us having to facilitate that all the time. And we also feel that it's teaching them to be responsible in their online learning community, because we all know that social media is a big part of their lives today. So it's making them think about, if someone's actually reading this, and what does it mean to the person that's reading it. And so we really feel that there are some lifelong good qualities coming out of the program.
And just finally, we really do feel that the program is encompassing many of the attributes and qualities that we all here look for in a good citizen, and we're just this is an opportunity for us to instill that in our students.
Girls don't have any problems opening their mouths, do they?
And what was amazing,
Very, very.
they sent them to the office, and I said, okay guys, I'm gonna start recording you, and you're just going to talk about what you like about Out of Eden. So I, didn't prompt them, and they just
Oh my goodness.
go, and it's what we're learning, and I feel like we've been empowered as educators to empower the kids in a different way, like getting away from the sage on the stage, I will tell you everything I know, and you'll put it on a piece of paper, to being a facilitator and empowering the kids to do the learning and own it, and then be responsive to them individually and have time to do that. It's in the life of an educator, an interactive, online learning tool like this is amazing.
Well, you're also, I think, too, is that you're giving them a lot of independence to do it themselves, and the pictures that they take are really showing them how to express themselves artistically. I mean, really, you're giving them a lot of freedom. Gives them a lot of freedom.
And they're doing deep thinking, because
Oh, they are.
learning is a consequence of thinking, and then the best learning and the deepest learning that can take place is social and emotional. And so when you put a social piece into it,
Right.
and then they have emotional connections to what they're doing, it makes it 10 times more
But the
powerful.
girls seem so excited to tell they're getting responded to, and girls just like to talk more. Very good.
Each month we're getting very impressive. We're so honored to have you guys here. And hopefully, I tell everybody else the same thing, that you make this presentation at your PTA meetings to let those people know what's going on. I mean, this is great, and I mean, we really appreciate that. And I'm sure your parents at that particular school would see something like this, it'd be overwhelming for them to see.
Actually, Manuel, Christy and Nina went a step further and got themselves published
Oh,
in
good
a
for you
national
guys.
publication about what they're doing out there.
Oh,
And it appeared in the September issue of Administrator.
Congratulations.
those
Awesome.
are the things we need to be proud of.
Thank you.
Keep
And-
that blue and gold proud. That's
But
it.
we've received a ton of support from central office, so please know that. Like, I think 2 years ago, 3 of us went to Harvard. So we're then 6 teachers and myself were at Project Zero DC at the International School last month. Amazing opportunity. I mean, Howard Gardner was there, multiple intelligences. So
That's
it's
great. That's
very
why we're here.
supportive. Yep. Thank you.
Keep up the
Thank you.
good work. We really appreciate it.
It's always good to have the CM have good things to say.
Yeah.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Who's the little girl in the middle?
With the hands.
That's Lydia.
Lydia
Is she Italian or Greek?
What I-
What is she?
That's what
I
I'm
said she's Italian or Greek. It's gotta be one or the other. Yeah, I wish I'd have known. I wrote her in for presidential
She was,
candidate.
I know, there you go. Huh?
She was
Thank
something.
you.
My
Thank
husband-
you. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
my husband-
Thanks.
Right.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you very much.
We could
Good
have put
job.
that other little girl too, remember?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's his turn.
He
Hey,
says,
we got-
he says this is coming
That's what
down.
I just- that's what I said. I got that magazine article
The
in my
Mad
office.
magazine,
Yeah.
Well,